Evidence for God, Noah's flood evidence. Evidence 1. Rapid burial of plants and animals. Fossil formation is extremely rare today, as dead organisms rot, decay and are consumed quickly, unless rapid burial or other unusual conditions are present. Yet, the rocks of Earth contain billions and billions of fossils from the past, and in many places, millions of fossils show evidence of rapid burial. Fish eating other fish. Animals giving birth. Upright trees in rock layers. Soft tissue jellyfish, etc. Most of these are found in enormous fossil graveyards. The frequent occurrence of fossils, especially in graveyards, suggests rapid burial repeatedly on a large scale, consistent with a global flood. Evidence 2. Widely diverse fossil mixtures. Often these graveyards consist of a mixture of all kinds of animals mashed together in disorderly masses. For example, the Ashley Beds is an enormous phosphate graveyard that contains mixed remains of men with land and sea animals, including dinosaurs, whales, sharks, elephants, and many others. How could this have happened unless the waters of a global flood swept over both the oceans and the continents? Evidence 3. Rapid deposition of rock layers. Rock layers all over the world also show evidence of rapid deposition. For example, the walls of the Grand Canyon have rock layers that are bent and folded, suggesting these layers were immediately folded while the sediment was still soft and pliable, as would be expected during a global flood. Other rock layers show little or no erosion, such as the Coconino Sandstone and Hermit Formation, which are separated by a completely flat and featureless several-mile-long boundary, suggesting continuous deposition of one layer after another. Evidence 4. Marine fossils on mountains. Fossils are so widespread that we even find fossils of sea creatures on every mountain range, including the highest place on Earth, the peak of Mount Everest, 8,848 meters above sea level. We find fossils of marine creatures in limestone. How did they get there, unless the ocean waters rose up over the continents? Evidence 5. Mass erosion across vast areas. We find mass erosion across vast areas of the continents. For example, the Grand Canyon is 4 to 18 miles wide and over 1 mile deep. Compare the thin river with the canyon's vast expanse. Could that relatively small river carve such a huge, wide, and deep canyon, as evolutionists claim? Evidence 6. Sediment layers spread across vast areas. We also find sedimentary layers extending for thousands of kilometers, even across continents. For example, the chalkboards that form the famous White Cliffs of Dover in southern England trace all the way to Turkey and Egypt. Another example is the Coconino Sandstone, which is conservatively estimated at 41,700 cubic kilometers. The sheer size and extent of the layers tells us that they could not have been formed by rivers, nor river deltas, except perhaps a global flood. Evidence 7. Sediment transported long distances. We find that the sediments in these vast sediment layers are carried long distances. For example, the sand grains in the Navajo sandstones come from the Appalachian Mountains, all the way across North America, at least 3,000 kilometers. We also find many enormous boulders throughout northwestern USA and western Canada which are at least 500 kilometers away from the nearest source of quartzite rocks. Only a global flood could have moved these huge sediments and boulders over thousands of kilometers. Evidence 8. Ancient flood legends from every culture. Did you know that stories about a worldwide flood are found in historic records all over the world? Anthropologists have catalogued over 500 ancient flood legends from all over the world, from the ancient Babylonians to the Australian Aboriginals. These stories are similar to the Genesis narrative, including an angry God and 8 people who survived the flood in a boat. Evolutionists who believe the present is the key to understanding the past, cannot explain the many geological features around the world, which are not seen forming today. Yet, the Bible can.